Welcome back to Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today? I was so surprised because I pressed A and the title screen didn't continue on. So what's been going on? Mario Party Superstars trailer came out, which is probably the thing I'm most excited for. You know how much I love my Mario Party. Because I have played every version of Mario Party? That's a good point. I've definitely played Mario Party 1. I think I played Mario Party 2. I've definitely played Mario Party 3 on an emulator. Don't tell anyone. Mario Party 4 I own. We'll get onto that in a second. Hello there, everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 5:36 p.m. on Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. I have to really speak off. Mario Party 4 I own. Mario Party 6 I own. Do I own Mario Party 7? I don't think I played 5 or 7. But I played Mario Party 8 because I own it. I own Mario Party DS and played that. Oh, I don't have Mario Party 10. I don't think. So, you know, a 3 out of a series, which I've missed. It's not too bad. I believe Kix is our visitor. At least something's telling me on the title screen he was there. CJ, of course, giving us whatever we get, a fresh new salmon, apparently. Vivian. I'm so silly, Canapé. You know I have a weakness for bath items. And shopping, yes, we've had this before, unfortunately, Vivian. It's quite difficult at this point to give us some new letter options. But yeah, I don't know, nothing really huge happening in the gaming sphere recently, I suppose. It Takes Two has sold 3 million copies, good for that. Good for them, for whoever... Hold on. I keep getting it wrong, who makes It Takes Two. They're made by... Not this BBC show. Hold on, Wikipedia, it's loading, DuckDuckGo, it's loading, it's really trying. EA is the publisher. Haze Light Studios. I also, I'm not particularly good at remembering game publishers and developers and that sort of thing, apart from, you know, like the really, really famous ones, you know, things like EA or like Nintendo, etc., etc. It's quite easy, but all these indie studios, which I should definitely remember, except for the fact that I don't, despite the fact I played all their indie games. Should we have a pop quiz? Should we see how many indie games, not indie games, how many of the developers I remember from the games I played? So I need to get on my YouTube studio, I need to see my playlist. We got to see who the developers are. Kind words and lo-fi chill beats to write to. I should remember this because it appears at the start, like all of these things, they appear at the start of, what are these, Chopwood, Deep Sea Dive, Fish, okay. They all appear at the start of, when you open the game, but I really can't remember. I can imagine what it looks like when the logo displays, but I can't think what the logo actually looks like. I guess I've got to get Google up as well so I can Google them. Let's see, kind words and lo-fi chill beats to write to. Who makes this? Who makes this? I don't remember. Pop Cannibal. Okay, never mind. I actually was not going to get that in like a million years. So we know 0 for 1. Heaven's Vault. Heaven's Vault. I should know. It's like, it's not clay. Hold on. It's something like that. It gives me the same feeling as clay, but it's not clay because clay is don't starve. For sure. It's got a sharp sounding sound in it, which is probably the stupidest way I could possibly describe it, but that's how I've remembered it in my head. We're just heading back so we can build, create an axe. Isn't it like Inkai or something? Inkai Studios? Let's see. Heaven's Vault. Inkle. I'm gonna give myself a heart point for that. That's really close, to be perfectly fair. You might say, not quite exactly right. No, it's not quite exactly right, but like, Inkay Studios, Inkle Studios. I remember it because they actually retweeted the thumbnail I did of Heaven's Vault. They reacted with it with the eye emoji, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Didn't expect that to happen because you know, just some random thing. But I suppose when you're a much smaller studio, getting fan art, I suppose, of a game you made just makes you go woo or something like that. Because I know myself and do my own like small art stuff. When I see someone make art for like one of my characters or something like that, art fight, mainly, I'm just like, oh, this is the best thing ever. It's very exciting, exhilarating, one might even say. Bug Fables I should know, but I don't. I know I don't. Unless they name it after the game and it's like Team Snake Map or something, there's no way that's right. I actually don't know any of these. I'm terrible at this. Bug Fables. Who makes bug fables? Moonsprout. I did know Moonsprout. Oh, if I actually thought about that a bit more, I probably could have got it. Okay, so we are like half a point out of 3 right now, which is pretty terrible, I must say. And honestly, it's sort of opened my eyes that I should perhaps be a bit more aware of these actual developers and their companies, because, you know, to get their name out there, to be able to recognise them. Once they appear again, I'll be like, oh, you know, Moonsprout games, you know, oh, there's other people who made bug fables. I really love that game. Maybe I like this game, which came out. Snakebird, I'm just gonna tell you now, I don't know Snakebirds, like at all. But we might as well look it up. Why not? Nominon Games. Gonna be honest, was never gonna get that. It was impossible. A Short Hike. I also don't know this one. Wow, I'm terrible at this. I should really pay more attention to this. This really has opened up my eyes. Developer Adam Grew. Okay, fair enough, I guess. I guess it's not really a studio, it's just one person, or is it named after them? Oh, it is a studio. To be fair, it would be a studio, you know. Like, it's quite hard to solo develop an entire game. So that's quite the rarity, I would say, indeed. Snakebird again. Rakuen I do know. It was by Laura Shigihara. And she didn't do it solo. I assume she worked with a team, but I don't know what the team was called, to be honest. Rakuen game. Developer Laura Shigihara. There you go. You got the full one right there. Laura Shigihara. Also, the voice of a sunflower in As a Zombie on Your Lawn. She sings that song. She also sang it in Japanese. Zombie Kaiwa Deki Tanya or whatever. I don't actually know what it is. That's my memory of me listening to that song in Japanese. About, I'm going to ballpark like 15 years ago or something like that. I don't even know how old Plants vs Zombies is. Hold on. Plants vs Zombies. Okay, 15 years is probably too much. Probably 10 years ago. Plants vs Zombies. When was the first one released? That I do know is by PopCat Games. 2009. How long ago was that? 12 years ago. You know, not too far off on the grand scheme of things. Okay, so what's the next one? The Witness. This is by that one guy who also made like Braid and other things. The thing is, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Why am I so bad at this? I'm just actually more annoyed at Moonsprout Games. I should have absolutely got Moonsprout Games because I did know that one. I just couldn't think of it. So this is a bit of a weird start to the episode, but you know, I had an idea and I'm running with it because I didn't really have an idea of anything to talk about in today's episode. Let me think. Okay, Witness. It's that guy. It's that guy who makes a load of puzzle games, and he's done talks about game design and things in games as well. I honestly can't remember. Hold on. The Witness. I'm going to remember it as soon as I see it. Jonathan Blow! Oh, he's a designer. Developer was Tekla Inc. Okay, fair enough, you know. I would have given myself it if I got either of them. Jonathan Blow. Jonathan Blow, I should remember. He's a rather big name, I suppose, in the the puzzle game industry. The puddle sounds like a good name for like an inn or something. Have a puddle. Not inn, sorry, like a pub. Grim Fandango. I don't know who made Grim Fandango, I'll be perfectly honest. And they're quite an old studio, I'd imagine. Grim Fandango. LucasArts. Oh yeah, you're right, because they made this is one of their like final adventure games. You know, it's weird how these are called adventure games, despite the fact they're called like actually point and click adventure games or whatever. Yeah, sorry, graphic adventure games, according to Google. Isn't it weird they're called adventure games, despite the fact that like, adventure games gives you sort of like a grandiose idea of like, oh, you know, like Indiana Jones, something like that. You're going to be on grand escapades. That's how you say that word, escapades, and that sort of thing. But really, is just sort of like point and clicking, and most of the times trying to defeat moon logic, which is quite difficult. Hollow Knight, I know, that's Team Cherry. Can't get that one by me. I hope I'm right, otherwise that's probably quite rude. I've seen that one so many times. Team Cherry, yep. At least I know that one. Opus Magnum is by Zachtronics, right? Because it's a Zachtronics game. I don't actually know if that's the name of a studio, right? I think it is, right? Zachtronics publishes Zachtronics, developers Zachtronics, and Zachary Bath. Okay, to be fair, I didn't know his name. I assumed it was Zach something, but I'll give myself a point for that. What are we on, like 2.5 or something? I don't know. I'm not keeping track. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But Return of the Obra Dinn. I know this one. This one's Lucas Pope. He also made Papers, Please, I think. Let's see. Return of. This is like a really nice like trip down memory lane or something. All these fantastic games I played. I'm pretty sure this was Lucas Pope. Yeah, developer Lucas Pope. This was actually a solo developed thing, wasn't it? I remember he made a really cool, interesting like blog post. Have we really fished up one fish? A really interesting sort of blog post about how he got like the dithering effect to not look absolutely nauseating in the game. I don't remember exactly how he did it, but there was some cool progress. Tangle Tower. I don't think I know Tangle Towers, to be perfectly honest. Let's see if I... Sorry, because I'm trying to look over at 2 screens at once while also playing Animal Crossing, which is a bit difficult. But luckily I can type with one hand quite quickly. SFB Games. Honestly, I haven't even heard of them, so I don't even know. What else have I made? Have I made other things? SFB Games. What games have you made, SFBs? Oh, you made Snipper Clips. Marching Order. A cute logic puzzle game. That sounds cute. I don't know what it is. Let's see it. They have the most adorable style. Marching Order. It's a cute logic puzzle game. I'm sure I should be directly next to the elephant. Oh, it's like, what's that order game? But the Einstein puzzle or whatever it's actually called. That seems to be what it's like. Of course I made Detective Grimoire as well, but the prequel, it's Tangle Tower. Okay, Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer, I should know. There's something games, aren't they? And they got a really, like, casual sounding. Like, chill sounding. Developer title, net company name. I should really know, because it's really in fitting with the theme of Spiritfarer, if I remember. I honestly can't remember. Spiritfarer. Which, by the way, the DLC or something came out for it, which are Thunder Lotus. Oh, I should have remembered that, because it says that like on the splash screen of the game every time you load it up. It's like join this Thunder Lotus community or something, right? Kukiyomi, you have no idea. Japanese developer, I assume. Let's see. Kukiyomi. Who developed this? Gmode. I feel like I do vaguely remember this, because I remember this is like... I started looking at their website or something. To try and find... Because they didn't have a... No, I can't remember why, but I ended up going on their website. I can't remember the details behind it. But that happened. Chicken Police, I honestly don't... No, Chicken Police was published by... Devolver Digital, I know that much. I don't think they made it though. Chicken Police, I think they also appear, like, all of these developers, they always appear at the start of the game to try and... Oh, wait, Wild Gentleman. Yes. Like, as I was talking about it, before I even looked over, you're going to have to take my word on it, because you definitely probably had me typing. Before I looked over, it came back to my memory. But they always put their, like, logo at the start of when a game launches up, just so you can absolutely remember it. Which is just kind of a point of it, you know, you got to get that name into your brain. And then get that sort of, like, recognition. And then once you got that recognition, bada bing, bada boom, you good. People are going to remember you, and that sort of thing. Well, gentlemen, looking forward to your next game, as long as it's a visual novel type of game. Love my visual novel sort of things. Fez I should know, because it's also another person who... This might have been the only game they made or something, but... Was there also some controversies around him? Maybe let's not delve into that, because I don't really know, but... I should know his name. Fez game... Oh no, hold on, wait, Polytron, right? Designer Phil Fish. Developer Phil Fish Polytron. I'm going to say that counts, I remember. Of course I had to remember, because that became a thing in one of the puzzles, wasn't it? Half of me is, like, what it is, and then the other half of me is who made me. And then I made that. If you haven't seen it, by the way, you should go look at some of the Fez episodes. The Fez episodes are probably some of the most insane episodes I've ever done on any playthrough, including that one, like, 3-hour episode of me decoding the Fez language, and another, and numerical system, another off-screen episode of me writing a program to try and brute force the solution to that riddle, which, by the way, was not the best way to do it. I definitely should have just looked up the answer in retrospect, but it was I guess it was a fun programming exercise, except for it was so, like, hashedly written out, because obviously I didn't want to, like, future preserve it for, because there's no other reason I'm going to have to use that code over again, hopefully. Honestly, this is quite funny. Little Nightmares, I should know. Little Nightmares is something Studios, I think. Little Nightmares. Oh, it's Bandai Namco. Yeah, you're right. I forgot Bandai Namco. No, they published it, but who developed it? Tarsier Studios. Honestly, I don't think I would have got that. I thought I did know it, but... Did I say it was something Studios? I don't know. Bugsnax. I don't think I know Bugsnax either. Which I should do, because I've seen the developers, like, react to a speedrun of a game, which is pretty cool. Young Horses probably wouldn't have got that, to be honest. Art Time Lapse, that's not a game. Celeste is Mac Does Games, which I assume is renamed now, because, developer come out as trans and... No, still, Map Makes Games is a publisher. Developers Map Makes Games. Extremely OK Games. Is that what they renamed themselves to? I don't know. They made Towerfall? Cool. I didn't know that. I never played Towerfall, but I used to watch some YouTubers, Far From Satchel, play them. Oh, Video Games Awesome, I think they were called, not Far From Satchel. Far From Satchel's like a sketch comedy thing. That was good fun. Talos Principle, I have no idea who makes Talos Principle, I'll be perfectly honest. Talos Principle. So all we can say so far is I've done a terrible job. I've gotten like 4 of these, I think. Talos Principle, Crow Team, and of course Adam Cross New Horizons, Nintendo. Life is Strange True Colors is Don't Nod, I think. Life is Strange True Colors. Square Enix. Oh, it's Deck 9. Wait, who's Don't Nod Entertainment? Don't Nod Entertainment. I thought they made Life is Strange. They did make Life is Strange. Did they rename themselves? Oh, they didn't do Life is Strange 3? Really? Oh. Was released then? Well, Don't Nod didn't do Life is Strange 3. I actually had no idea about that. It was actually kind of news to me. Very surprising. I'm not really sure what to say to that. Not like it's a good or bad thing overall. It's just like I had no idea. So I got like 4 of them out. 4 of them out of like 15 that I've done, which is honestly not very good odds. Not very good or anything really. It's quite quite bad representation of myself. And then, if anything, it's just, you know, I should pay attention more to the developers, the indie developers, certainly who make these games. Obviously, I think you can get a bit of a pass if you don't really pay attention to, oh, Nintendo made with some Animal Crossing game or whatever, or Mario Party. I was like, oh, it was some Game Freak who made Pokemon. And you know, they've got a lot of recognition in the first place. But the indie devs, it really helps to get their name out there, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not really much of an influencer or anything like that, but at least being able to keep them in my mind, so whenever I see like another game by them and be like, see their like name pop up before a thing, I'll be like, ooh, you know, I like their previous game. So maybe I should check this one out. Honestly, I immediately forgot who made It Takes Two. It Takes Two developer. Hazelight Studios. Hazelight Studios. I should try and remember that. I should try and remember all of these, but apparently I'm not doing a very good job. Which is to say the least rather disappointing. But I'm doing my best. Kind of. But yeah, shout out to all the indie devs. It always surprises me when I find out like how small some of the indie devs, or how small the developer team was for some games. You know, like finding out Undertale was made by not just one person, I suppose, but mostly by one person, Toby Fox, of course. Oh, it's down there. What? I thought it was up. Well, it's going to take some time for it to get over here, so I think we can run over here, talk to Apollo, then come back and shoot it. It was mostly made by like Toby Fox with like Temmie, I believe, helping out with some things. You want a different change or a catchphrase? Why not an angry one? Eh? Or eh? Let me see if I got this right. You want to go there? I wanna. Let's see, yep, I like it. Right, let's run this thing into the ground, Or I could have done A. I say A quite a lot. Hey, 40,000. Missions. Points. That's what they're called. But like, what was I saying? Yeah, it always surprised me when like there's very small like developer teams who actually can make a whole game by themselves or mostly by themselves. Like Cave Story wasn't Cave Story completely done by one person? Like one person programmed, did the art, did the music, etc., etc., and everything in it, that is insane to me. That's a sort of, if I was to make a game, that's the sort of developer I'd want to do, because I feel like perhaps I'd want to do everything myself. Although, to be fair, I also don't think I'd do everything myself. I think I'd rather be, you know, like with design, I'm like in control, or creating control. Get final say, but I'm not doing everything necessarily by myself. Because some things you just gotta hash out, they're not like particularly interesting to do, you know. If you got to do like some animation sprites of like your character swinging a sword, and you've got a creative idea for it, yeah, could be fun to try and execute it, but also someone has to draw those in between frames or animate this entire thing entirely, and I can't, and that's sort of just boring work, you know. That's like why animators, a lot of like really good animators, they do the keyframes, and then the people who do the in-betweens are like interns or whatever, who are like learning to animate, who are learning underneath them as like proteges, I suppose. Makes total sense to me, you know. The hard and most important parts are certainly those keyframes, which you want to get like that snappy, like actual impact down, and those are the ones which really sort of define the movement, while things in between are sort of just like, I'm not going to say it's grunt work because I think that's a little bit belittling to it, but it is a sort of thing where it's just like, oh, you know what? Why not leave that to the other people who they can do it, or you can focus on getting some more like big set pieces done. I don't actually know if this is really how things work in the industry all that well, so don't quote me on it. But why do I have 17 stones in here? That's kind of that's what I remember reading. It being like, oh, you know, all the big animators, but like the senior animators, everyone's doing the keyframes. And everyone else is doing the in-between tweens, I suppose. But I guess, now I think about it, do we need customization kits? Not really. So let's just buy some stuff and then sell it again afterwards. Like, we can buy some... Those are pumpkin starts. I don't want those. I will buy... I don't know, what would I buy? Saplings? What's that? 3,200. This is like 800, so that's about 4,000-ish. Is that right? 500, 800, 3,200, and then we'll buy 2 of these. And that should make up 5,000 that we have purchased. I guess we could have just bought some stuff from Kicks now I think about it, but you know, it's too late for that. I've already bought this stuff. 20 minutes have passed? What on earth? How long did I spend trying to name these developers? But yeah, anyway, the respect goes out to these indie developers. Oh yeah, I was talking about like Toby Fox, because you know he made Undertale mostly by himself. And what's even crazy is he was much more known as like a music composer. Like he did stuff of Homestuck, I think, right? He did a bit of Homestuck music and then decided to design and make his own game, Undertale, which is probably the biggest indie hit in the past decade. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of good contenders. I'd imagine Cave Story is probably out there as well. But it's been undeniable the impact Undertale has had on, you know, the gaming community in total. So I'm not going to do it any disservice by saying it's not had waves and is not also just my favourite game. So, but yeah, he made most of it himself. I think didn't he get someone else to do the art? I'm not sure if all of the art, but that's who Tammy is, right? She's the artist of the people. I do remember this because I remember reading a story about one of the characters or one of the enemies you fight in the game is like this really muscly horse and only exists because the artist, like Tammy, Tammy's least favourite things to draw were like horses and muscles. So Toby Fox made a character who is only horses and muscles just to make her draw it or something. I'm sure you must have got help from, of course, lots of other people and that sort of thing as well. But like, I feel like it's a bit inconceivable to have a game just solely made by yourself and literally no one else helping. Because you think how much goes into a game. Okay, of course there's a programming, yeah, pretty difficult. And making art, you know, it's a rare combination having both good artistic talent and programming skills all wrapped up in one person. And then even rarer that this person can also make music. I mean, even rarer, this person can actually design things. Even rarer, this person can run the business and management side. Even rarer, this person can do the marketing. Even rarer, I suppose this person can do what else? Like Q&A. And there's just so many things like stacked on top of each other. I wonder if there's actually any game out there which is truly, well, maybe I should say rather successful game out there, which is truly all made by one person. Because there's games out there which made by one person all the time. You know, like I'm sure a lot of like App Store, Play Store sort of games tend to be done by one person most of the time. Well, you know, because they're quite small in scale. You know, I certainly imagine it's a lot easier when your scope is a lot smaller to make a game completely by yourself. Let's see. Video game made solely by one person. I'd imagine it's going to give it. Tetris was made by originally made by one person, the Soviet Russian software engineer. Huh. You know, that's probably the best answer you can give me. Close look at each one. Undertale, of course, on this list. Created almost solely by Toby and Fox. Bright Memory I've never heard of, but apparently it's pretty good. And Thomas Was Alone. Oh, of course, that's a really classic old one. Mike Biffel. I thought it was quite a cute game. I don't really remember it, but I have played for it. Minecraft, of course, made by Hatsune Miku. That's a meme if you don't know. Cave Story, that's the one I mentioned before. Never played for it, but it was made by some Japanese developer. Oh, wasn't for Toho games? They're all made by like one person, and he does all the composing at least. Stardew Valley was one person? Really? Eric Barone. Oh, I thought it was actually a whole developer, like a small indie development team. It probably is now because how big the scope has gotten. But games composers with everything else done by Barone himself. That's cool. To never return to game design, he announced he's working on a new project. Honorable mentions: Axiom Verge, Papers, Please. Papers, Please is a good one. Tetris, of course. I don't recognise a lot of these games. Braid, Dust Elysian Tales made by one person. Didn't know that. Roller Coaster Tycoons made by one person. River Raid, Spelunky. Oh yeah, Spelunky is like Alex something, right? I can't remember his name. Papers, Please, of course, made by Lucas Pope. Tetris. I'm surprised the Toho games aren't on here. Banished, Lone Survivor, Braid, Dust by Dean Dodrell. Okay, why are there so many chopping wood ones? Wait, hold on. What fish insect is this? Cricket. That's doable if we see one. Retro City Rampage I've heard of. Roller Coaster Tycoon made by Chris Sawyer. Mainichi. That means every day. Spelunky. Derek Yu. That's not Alex. Who do I think was Alex? Marvin Emma Wood. But wait, hold on. Toho solo developer. Junya Ota. Developing and self-publishing with Toho. I guess Toho, now I think about it. Video game project. What am I doing? I'm chopping wood. Is that a cricket? That's a cricket, isn't it? Or is this a bell cricket? I think this is a cricket, isn't it? Yeah, what a chirp frill. Baby, I need dollar bills to have fun tonight. We love chirp frills. Sorry. In 2010, the Guinness World Record called Toho Project, the most prolific fan-based shooter series ever created. Why is that a world record? Like, don't get me wrong, it's incredibly impressive how much this person's done to create like all these series of games, but that seems like such an arbitrary world record. I don't really know what to say to that. I have played a few of the Toho games. I don't really remember them all too well, but I played them when I was much younger. I think I played the first one at least. I played the one where you could play as 3 characters, of course, the Red Shrine Maiden Girl, the Witch Girl, and then you had like a maid who like threw knives or something. I can't really remember much else of that, to be honest. Did I beat it? I honestly can't remember. But anyway, the Toho game is mostly known for its music, isn't it? And so it's a rather striking part of a game. I think Sturgeon's going to be quite difficult. We can get seashells done in time. We've got 8 minutes. That's doable. It's quite a striking part of the game, and there's a really good video by 8-Bit Music Theory about it. Well, I say it's really good. I thought it was really good. Maybe it's really bad. Maybe it's completely inaccurate. Everything he says in the video might just be a total lie. Who knows? I don't know how we got into this a bit of a unhinged episode today, I suppose. Not really much direction. Was it entertaining? I don't know. Is any of us entertaining? Am I entertaining? Are you entertaining? Are you not entertained? I suppose if you don't find it entertaining, you probably would have X'd out by now, so... Ooh, we're going to have enough time to get everything and sell it. We have 7. We need 3 more seashells, because she sells seashells by the seashore. As everyone does know, apparently no more seashells exist anymore, which make it quite difficult, I think, to actually get her done. Are you serious? There's no seashells? Why have I no seashells on the main island? Well, I was going to extend on a bit long this episode, but I do want to get those Nook Mile mission points just to get them done. Because on 40,000, that's a good amount of island hopping we can do next time. Well, it's only Tank's going to be the only one to move out, I suppose, but eventually, when we get his portrait, I'm not sure what I'm going to do if he asks to move out. Will I let him, despite the fact we haven't got his photo yet? It takes a while to get his photo. I'm just going to assume that he probably won't ask for ages because it's going to take a hot minute stretch until it's going to be a hot minute until, what was I going to say? I was going to say photo. Why was I thinking about photo in my head? I don't know. I literally just forgot what I was talking about, which is, you know, kind of worrying, if anything. You know, Salvat stuff. It's going to be a hot minute. Oh, until Tank moves out. But, oh yeah, what I was going to say, I was wondering if, what happens if Fauna just appears in our campsite? Then I guess we can force him out. If Fauna appears in our campsite, I will force him. I will force Tank out. I will reset until Tank asks, is the one to leave. I'm sorry to say Tank, but it'll be a rare opportunity to pass by. But until then, we've got 2 more days until the Animal Crossing Direct comes out. Until then, we can sort of just sit here in anticipation until something happens. But for now, I suppose we'll round off this episode here. So, if you have been watching, thank you very much. This has been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Deardarling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Deardarling Discord and follow me or follow me on Twitter down below. Hope to see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.